Welcome back, English learners, to SpeakCast English, your daily English listening practice podcast. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Emma, ready to dive into another real-life situation that might make you feel a little awkward.
Exactly. Today, Emma and I are tackling a classic travel headache. The hotel room wasn't what I expected. We've all been there, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's that moment when your dream vacation photo on the website turns into, well, something else entirely. I mean, you book a room with a sea view and you get a view of the car park.
Chuckles. Been there, done that. But the good news is, by the end of this episode, you'll know exactly how to confirm your reservations, handle booking problems, and make polite complaints at check-in. You'll walk away with 3 super practical phrases to use.
Yes! Because sometimes I just freeze up and don't know what to say, especially in English.
Don't worry, Emma. We'll make sure you're ready for anything. So let's set the scene. Emma, imagine you've just arrived at a hotel after a long flight. You're tired, you're excited, and you're ready for that beautiful room you saw online.
Okay, I'm picturing it. My perfect room, maybe with a nice big window, and hopefully a coffee machine. You know how I feel about my morning coffee.
I know. Your coffee obsession rivals my own. So you get to the front desk, you give them your name, and they hand you a key card. You go up to the room, open the door, and what do you see?
Sighs dramatically. Oh no, it's not the sea view, it's not even the city view. It's a wall, just a brick wall. And the bed is 2 singles pushed together, not the king size I specifically asked for.
A classic bait and switch, as we say. So, what's your first reaction, Emma? What do you want to say?
My first reaction is usually, ugh, and then, this is not correct, or my room is wrong. But I know that's not very polite, especially in a professional setting like a hotel.
You're right. My room is wrong is direct, but it can sound a bit accusatory. We want to be firm, but polite. Before we even get to the complaint, let's rewind a bit. What's one thing you can do before you even arrive at the hotel to avoid some of these issues?
I guess call them, but calling in English makes me so nervous.
I understand. That's a common struggle. But it's a great strategy. And when you call, what's the main thing you want to do? You want to make sure they have everything correct.
Right. So I need to check my booking details. Like, is my booking okay?
Better yet, you can say, I'd like to confirm my reservation. This is a super useful phrase for so many situations, not just hotels.
I'd like to confirm my reservation. Okay, that sounds much more official and polite then. Is my booking okay?
Exactly. It shows you're proactive, and you're just making sure everything is in order. You're not accusing, you're verifying.
So I could call a few days before my trip and say, hello, I'd like to confirm my reservation for my name on date.
Perfect, Emma. That's exactly it. Now back to our scenario. You're in the room, you see the wall, the twin beds, you're feeling that, feeling. You go back to the front desk. What do you say now?
I want to say, the room is not what I booked, or this is not my room.
Again, very direct. And sometimes, direct is okay. But there's a slightly softer, more formal way to express that there's a problem, especially when you think it might be a misunderstanding or a simple error. You can say, there seems to be a discrepancy.
There seems to be a discrepancy. Wow, that sounds very sophisticated. What does discrepancy mean?
Good question. A discrepancy means a difference or a lack of agreement between 2 facts or things. In this case, between what you booked and what you got. It's a polite way to say, something is wrong here, without being impolite.
So instead of, my room is wrong, I can say, excuse me, I think there seems to be a discrepancy with my room.
Spot on. It's professional, it's polite, and it clearly states there's an issue that needs to be resolved. It invites the hotel staff to help you, rather than putting them on the defensive.
I like that. It sounds like I'm giving them a chance to fix it, instead of just complaining.
Precisely. It's about finding a solution. Now let's say the receptionist looks at you, looks at their computer, and says, oh, this is the room type you booked, ma'am. How do you then clearly state that what you're seeing isn't what you agreed to?
This is where it gets tricky for me. How do I say, no, it's not, but nicely?
You need to be specific about the difference. You can say, This doesn't quite match my booking.
This doesn't quite match my booking. Okay, that's clear. It focuses on the booking, not just my feeling.
Exactly. It's objective. You're comparing two things, the room you're in and the details of your reservation. And the word quite softens it a little, making it sound less confrontational. You're not saying it completely doesn't match, but it's not exactly the same.
So if I booked a king-size bed and a sea view, and I get twin beds and a wall, I can say, I'm sorry, but this doesn't quite match my booking. I specifically requested a king-size bed and a sea view.
Perfect, Emma. You've combined all the elements: politeness, clear communication, and specific details. That's the winning formula.
This is so helpful. I always feel like I'm either too direct or too shy to say anything.
It's all about finding that balance. And these phrases give you the tools to do that. Speaking of tools, sometimes hotels offer you an alternative. Maybe a free breakfast or a discount for the inconvenience.
Oh, that's happened to me. They offered me a voucher for the hotel spa, which was nice, but I really just wanted my sea view.
Right. It's about what resolution works for you. But knowing how to articulate the problem clearly is the first step to getting that resolution.
So let's recap the phrases. First, before arriving, to be safe, I'd like to confirm my reservation.
Excellent. Then, when you notice something is off, politely point it out with, there seems to be a discrepancy.
And finally, to clearly state the problem by referring to your original agreement. This doesn't quite match my booking.
You've got them, Emma. Those 3 phrases are your toolkit for hotel check-in dilemmas.
This is great. I can totally imagine myself using these. I feel much more confident now.
That's the goal. Now let's do a quick deep dive into each phrase so you can really master them.
Yes, let's do it.
Our first phrase, I'd like to confirm my reservation. This means you want to double check that your booking details are correct and active in their system. It's about making sure everything is ready for your arrival. An extra example. Before my flight, I called the airline and said, I'd like to confirm my reservation for tomorrow's flight. Now, a common mistake I hear from Vietnamese learners is saying something like, I want to confirm my booking. While want isn't wrong, I'd like to is much more polite and formal, which is important in these situations. Also, reservation is often preferred over booking in formal contexts like hotels or airlines. Emma, can you try saying that for us? Slowly first.
Okay. I'd like to confirm my reservation.
Great, now, at a natural speed.
I'd like to confirm my reservation.
Perfect. The D in I'd is very soft, almost like I'd. Excellent. Our second phrase, there seems to be a discrepancy. This is a polite and formal way to say there's a difference or a problem between what you expected or booked and what you've received. It's a professional way to highlight an issue. An extra example. When I check my bank statement, there seems to be a discrepancy in the amount I was charged. A common mistake for Vietnamese learners might be to just say, this is wrong, or problem here. Those are too direct and lack the politeness that there seems to be a discrepancy offers. This phrase avoids blaming anyone directly. Emma, let's try it. Slowly.
There seems to be a discrepancy.
Wonderful. Now naturally.
There seems to be a discrepancy.
Excellent, Emma. You're nailing the rhythm. And our third phrase, this doesn't quite match my booking. This phrase clearly states that what you have, e.g. the room, is not exactly the same as what you reserved or agreed to. Doesn't quite softens the statement, making it less confrontational than, this is not my booking. An extra example, the food they served doesn't quite match the description on the menu. A common mistake here is to say, this is not same my booking. Remember, we use match when things are similar or identical, and quite to soften the disagreement. Same needs the same as or the same with, but match is more natural here. Emma, your turn. Slowly.
This doesn't quite match my booking.
Fantastic. And at a natural speed.
This doesn't quite match my booking.
You've got it. You hear how the T in doesn't almost blends into quite? Doesn't quite. Very natural.
That's a tricky one, but I'll practice. These phrases are so useful. I can think of so many times I could have used them.
That's the power of having the right words, Emma. It gives you confidence.
So for our shadowing practice today, Andrew, what key sentence should we focus on?
Let's combine our last two phrases into a common scenario. Imagine you're at the front desk. I'll say it slowly first, then naturally. Excuse me, there seems to be a discrepancy. This doesn't quite match my booking.
Okay, I'm ready. Slowly. Excuse me, there seems to be a discrepancy. This doesn't quite match my booking.
Great job. Notice how Emma paused slightly after discrepancy. That's natural. Now, at a natural speed.
Naturally, excuse me, there seems to be a discrepancy. This doesn't quite match my booking.
Perfect, Emma. The flow was excellent. When you practice this at home, try to mimic Emma's intonation and pauses. It's not just about the words, but how they sound together.
Practice makes perfect, right? And I'm going to imagine I'm demanding my king-size bed and sea view.
That's the spirit. Visualizing the situation helps. Well, that's all for today's episode on handling hotel booking problems. We hope you feel much more prepared for your next trip.
Remember those 3 key phrases. I'd like to confirm my reservation. There seems to be a discrepancy. And this doesn't quite match my booking.
Knowing these will make a huge difference in your confidence and ability to communicate effectively in English.
We'd love to hear from you. Please like this video if you found it helpful.
And subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our daily English listening practice episodes.
Leave a comment below with your favorite phrase from today, or tell us about a time a hotel room wasn't what you expected.
Thank you for listening today. We hope this episode helped you practice real English. You've been listening to SpeakCast English. Thanks for practicing with us, and see you next time on SpeakCast English.